Hi, welcome to my channel. Thanks a whole heck of a bunch for clicking on this thumbnail. Can you let me know what made you click on this thumbnail? I would really appreciate that. Make a comment. I thought I would review this book, Play Like a Girl. So if you're new to my channel, I started my channel to promote my graphic memoir. And in the process, I read a lot of graphic books to learn how to write my book about panels and everything else. So that's what you should do. If you ever have a project, you know what to do. You know, the best form of flattery is imitation. So you copy everybody else, their art, and learn from that. So that's what I started doing. I started reading a lot of, and I decided to start reviewing some graphic books. And this one was a graphic memoir like mine. So my graphic memoir is about how I used my health and fitness knowledge to stop my mother with mild dementia from forgetting me, and it worked. I tricked her off caffeine, and in the process, her doctor ended up taking her off all of her meds, kept her away from high fructose corn syrup. I forced her, tricked her, bribed her, did everything to get her to just drink water. And I have had plenty of students and people I meet every day who don't drink water. You need water. Dehydration causes every imaginable problem. So drinking any kind of juice, anything with sugar, does not hydrate you like pure water. So I really learned something really interesting from this book. I didn't realize, and this is dumb on my part, even though I am a fitness professional, that some girls can play on the boys' teams. So I never even occurred to me that a girl could play on a boys' football team, although it wouldn't be boys, it's co-ed, right? So, and I was really impressed with, she had other boys that made her life miserable, because men always do that, right? And women do that to men too. I don't want to be male bashing here. But of course, her coach was really, really good. So I was really impressed. So I learned something really, of course, every single book that you learn from. And then I keep a pretty detailed journal, and that's what my other videos are about, bullet journals, and I write down lessons I learned from books. You know what I also wanted to share with anybody, if you want to improve your memory, my channel is about helping your memory. I have this little voice tracer thing that whenever I'm out everywhere, even when I'm swimming today, I keep this by the pool because you always have these brilliant ideas and you say them down. But I've kind of learned, here's a little memory technique. If you say something out loud, you're going to hear it and you're going to remember it without even more than writing it down or saying it down like that. Because most of the time, like 90% of the time that I say something into this, I end up going and do that on my to-do list before I even hear it again. So I really think it's hearing it. And that's part of my book with my mother. So, of course, she talked to herself out loud. And lots of memory techniques say to do that. Say it out loud so you engage your hearing in your brain. So whenever I'm listening to an audiobook, when I'm out walking and stuff, I have this. So I'm listening to the book. It taught me something. I say it into this. I usually always pause the audiobook. I say it into this. Then I hear myself say it again. And then when I get home and put it in my notes, my bullet journaling notes, I hear it again and hear myself again, and I write it down. And then I saw it and I reread it. And I guarantee I remember the whole thing. So if you're struggling to remember anything, that's the way to do it. I mean, if I were you, I would say chapters of your notebook into a tape recorder and then listen to that as you're walking, and then say it again. And you have to, if you're having struggling remembering something or a concept, keep doing all different like that a lot. So let's get to looking at some of the pages from the book. So here we are. I wanted to go over this graphic memoir. I really liked this book. It was very, very well written. I like books, graphic books, that have separate chapters. Lots of times in lots of graphic books, there's no separate chapters, and somehow to me, that always feels like one big run-on sentence when there's no chapters section. So this book has a chapter section. The art is very pretty. The storyline is easy to follow. There's no confusion whatsoever. So I thought I would show you some of my favorite pages and art in this book. So Play Like a Girl by Misty Wilson, and I guess her husband is the artist. So she wrote it and he drew everything. That's what it feels like. So So this is, oh, I skipped a page. I'm sorry. I got to back it up a little bit. So while I'm reading the books, I always put little notes in here for what I want to show you. So this is a library book. I highly recommend the library. And you know, the library, if the library doesn't have what you want, number one, you can request that they buy it for you, and they almost always buy what I suggest that they buy. And if they can or won't buy it, you can also do an interlibrary loan, which only costs $4. So you can always read anything you want. So I liked her dedication here. For anyone struggling to find their place, be unapologetically you. We don't have to worry about fitting in. We don't all want to be a square peg in a square hole. We all should be goofy looking shapes in a goofy looking shape in a hole, right? So be yourself and don't worry about fitting in. That's what I try to tell my students all the time. You already are fitting in. Make the world fit to you. So this is this is when she's first thinking about joining her 7th grade football. And of course she had some boys make life really, really difficult because she was challenging them and getting out of the box, and she wanted to play football. And if I ever meet Misty Wilson, I would give her one heck of a high five for what she did. I have no interest in doing and playing football, and I've been teaching physical fitness for 35 years. But I am the least competitive person you will ever meet in your life. I just think it's, even when people watch sports I tease people and go, you get upset over the same stuff every single year. So this was really good art. I mentioned in my other videos that when I'm reading books, if I really like the facial expression, I copy it into my sketchbook to learn. So I'm going to copy this expression. So David Wilson did a very good job here. So I got to keep my bookmark there. So I go back and copy that page. Just copy her expression here. It's not a hard expression, but it would be fun to put in my, and it would be good just to put in my journal for frustrating days, right? This is another page that I thought was very good. This is when she first gets on the team, and they make her offense, but she really wants to be defense. And she gives you a nice little history, a nice little football lesson too, which I wasn't aware of myself, some of what she taught you. So like I said, I highly recommend this book. It's really educational. It's fun. It's an easy read. I had a hard time putting it down, and I always I always watch too much TV. I think we all do. So when I want to turn off the TV to go finish a book, then that's a really compliment to the book. So for Misty Wilson, I turned off my TV and went and read this. I always try to sit out in the sun and read graphic books to get my vitamin D, right? So this was very good too. I might, actually, you know what, I think I want to copy this facial expression too. But remember, keep that page. So, oh, and I was really impressed. Her coach didn't give her any grief for being a girl and wanting to play football. I just thought he was an amazing coach. He pushed her, he helped her. He could have been a jerk. We'll never know. But like some of our other players there, Cole. But he didn't. He was a good coach, and he let her do and still challenged her and worked with her. And then he switched her in the end, and she did really, really well. And there was a few other women, young girls playing. But I think she only met one other girl on an opposing team when they were playing. I think they also went to the national titles too. So this was really good. The art was excellent. Like I said, it was good. And I like this page too. So she goes over. Oh, he teaches her. And this was kind of something that really taught me too. You know, you see football and you see jokes when they fumble it. And I'm proud of myself for knowing what fumble means. But he taught her how to hold her, just to put her hands, and they put the football in there, and then she doesn't lose it. Makes you wonder whether they designed the football that way on purpose to challenge people. But again, it would have to be the shape of it. So I wonder about the history. Does anybody know the history of why a football is shaped the way it is? That would be good. Does anybody know that? Will you comment and let me know that? So this was a great a good football lesson about how they hold it and what they should do, right? Oh, and then one of the other players offered to help, and she said, no, if you defend me, it's just going to make him madder. And in the end of the book, that guy was never nice to her. He never realized she could do just as much. And if you think about it, there are little guys. There are guys that are 5'6", 150 pounds. And of course, that's women are that shape. And then of course, there are women that are 5'9", 250 pounds too. I mean, on the average, women are smaller than men, obviously. But there are exceptions to the rules. So making rules that make one size fits all is wrong. So if somebody wants to do something, and even if a young gentleman wanted to do a traditional female sport, which I can't think of anything right now, but if they did, all the power to them. Do what you love, and the money will follow, right? So the art here was good, and the storyline was good. And you know, in my bullet journal, I have what I call a destiny or a positive affirmation. And when I saw this, I thought, I'm going to put this in my journal, and I might create a video in the future, a positive affirmation spread. So I did a scoreboard and said the opposing, and then me, and said have me winning against somebody else in my life who's going to lose. So I thought that was really good. So that would be a suggestion for you too in your journal. You know, write down a scoreboard and put down yourself and whoever you're opposing, and they lose 0 points. They go home with their tail behind their tail between their legs, and you win. It's a good visualization, I think. I think obviously if anybody's watching this video and you're an athlete, visualizing the scoreboard even at the beginning of your game would be copying sports psychology and sports philosophy. You see it, you close your eyes and you see it. So close your eyes, look at the scoreboard, and see yourself as winning. Although I am the least competitive person you'll ever meet, but sometimes you have to be somewhat competitive in life, right? So this was a great little picture. David Wilson outdid himself. I thought this was great. Look at 4 young gentlemen, because she's in 7th grade here, maybe 8th grade here, try to grab her because she learned how to hold the ball, because they switched her from offense to defense and then let her run for the ball. And she made some mistakes. She learned from the mistakes, but she just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. Sorry, I can't sing, folks. Okay, this is the last page I wanted to show you. Some more colors, and she learned some other stuff, and she had some friends coming and going from her life. Okay, I want to thank Misty Wilson for this really good book. I hope you make a comment. I would really appreciate it. I hope you like, and if you could please see yourself for subscribing, because you know YouTube doesn't monetize unless we have at least 1,000 subscribers. So if you feel up to it, please subscribe. Hope to see you in my next video.